Hello?
Hello, is it Dharmendra?
Yeah, Dharmen.
Yeah, so this is Tanmay from Viable Labs. We had a call. I was supposed to call you at 10. Is it okay? Can I speak now?
Yeah, no problem. You can
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. So Dharmendra, can you give me a brief gist of how your career has been?
Yeah, see, I completed my MCA in 2011,
Okay.
and then I came to Bangalore and I joined the first SD Soft Solution as a fresher. There I worked on two projects in education domain only. In that we have used Java 6. I think that time I used Java 5 only, and Servlet JSP, JDBC, Structs, and Hibernate. Then from SD Soft Solution, they deputed me to Etisalat, that is the telecom company. And in that I worked on three projects, all related to telecom domain only. In that mainly we have used Hibernate, Spring MVC, RESTful Web Services, and Java 6. So mostly I involve in designing the business rules based on the requirements. I written the code. So backend part code development I involved in.
Okay. So have you any experience? Basically, what has been your experience with web services?
Yeah, in web services, both part, consuming as well as processing. Writing the web services and consuming.
Okay.
Exposing and consuming, both part I worked on.
So what sort of web services have you worked on?
I used a RESTful API only.
RESTful.
Yeah.
Is it XML based, JSON based?
Yeah, XML and JSON, both we are returning as per the client requirement. We are giving the both response, XML as well as JSON both.
Okay, so it's the same code which responds in both, or?
No, different is there. One is there at the rate producer, that media type is XML, and another is media type is JSON.
Okay. So now how are you going to about, can you just say, for which project did you write that producer, your web service?
Yeah,
in which you created?
Yeah, NBA project.
Okay, can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, see, in NBA project what we have, I'll take one example from real time. Suppose you are purchasing some item from Flipkart or Amazon.com. Then after purchasing or while purchasing, it will show some other item. Like the person who purchased this item also purchased. Means as per the customer past history or their, we can say, recommendation, it will show. So same in telecom domain also, this concept they have implemented to improve the revenue of business and with a high level of customer satisfaction. So what they did, as a customer, we are calling to the customer care or IVR. They will take the request, okay, that press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3 to know the best offer for you. So suppose as a customer, we have selected the option 3. So what IVR will do, it will give the request to NBA, next best action. It is the project developed by Accenture. What that project will do, from the IVR, some customer related information will be, and they want to know their best offer. So that will be sent back to the NBA. NBA will contact the data warehousing. There they are using some analytical tool, maybe Hadoop or something. That is not my part of discussion. So by analyzing the customer past behavior or customer past offers, they will select some 5 offers, and that response will go to the IVR back. Okay. Now IVR will contact. Now I will tell where is my responsibility. Yeah. Yeah. So now it will come to my responsibility after 1 minute. Shall I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So now that IVR will give that these are the offers for you. You can select some offers. So suppose one offer I selected, I want to activate some 3G connection or something else. So that IVR will contact the BSS. Now this offer should be activated on the particular mobile number. So IVR will contact the BSS. So to communicate between IVR and BSS, we have written the web services. These are the two different components running on the web. Now BSS will contact again, MDI is there, you have IN, you have HLR. So that all communications, these are different components written in different languages. So we have used here web services. So my responsibility is, now customer has selected, they want to activate this service on their number. So how to activate that? So that Hibernate code we have implemented. So that request will go to the NBA request table. From the NBA request table, some NBA batch job is running. So that batch job will take the request whose status is 0. Now for one request, there may be chances multiple sub requests will be generated. So there is NBA sub request table, NBA sub request batch job is there. So I involve in writing the batch job for processing their request and also communicating with the NBA as well as BSS.
Okay, fine. So now let's come more to the technical aspect.
Okay.
So what did you use? How did you create a web service? What did you use? How did you go about doing? It was done through Spring or?
No. See, like sometimes you have to return some object. Yeah, both string also sometimes you have to return. Sometimes you have to return directly bean object. So XML is there. There we have to use some marshaller. JSON is there. You have to use JSON tokenizer, some API to process the data.
No, so let's take a simple web service where let's say you're making a social network and you're going to you're going to basically log in, add a friend, delete a friend, upload your photo, right? That sort of stuff. So how will you go about creating a web service? Just the simple application.
Yeah, so we'll write the class. Okay, there will be some class. Suppose some user class will be there. For that user class, you have to specify the logical path, like URI you have to specify. At the rate path, there you have to provide some logical name. And based on the requirement, you have to write some methods. For methods also, if you want, you can specify at the rate path. If it is taking some parameters, in curly braces, you have to specify all the parameter logical name. And if, that you have to bind with the method parameter. Like if it is query string, you have to use at the rate query param. If you are sending through form data, then you have to use at the rate form param, path param. So multiple you have annotations to process that. Then you have to specify whether this request is coming through get. So at the rate get. If it is post.
So that's the part of request handling. Now, for example, response, right?
Yeah,
so
response.
How do you send the response?
Yeah.
Who takes care of marshalling?
Marshalling you have to do at client side. There you have to use at the rate produces. Like if you want to produce XML, so you have to use annotation at the rate produces. In double quote, you can specify XML, or they have given annotation also, a media type dot application underscore XML, or if you want to return JSON. So as per your requirement, you can return. Now at client side, we have to process that. So for that you have to write the client code. Like
now, for example, what will you return from a function? Will you return the object as a response?
No,
that's on the producer side?
Yeah, sometimes we'll return object or sometimes we'll return a string type.
Okay. So let's take an example where you're returning an object.
Yeah.
So who will take care of converting that object to JSON or XML?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah. So at the rate produces annotation you are using. So in that what we have used. If you want to return XML or JSON. So suppose say customer object is there. So in customer object, if you want to return either XML or JSON, in both the cases you have to use JAXB some annotation. Like they have given at the rate XML root element. At top level class you have to use. For setter method you have to use at the rate XML element. If you want to specify something as attribute, you have to use at the rate XML attribute. So using JAXB annotation and at the rate produces, that response will be decided whether you want XML or you want JSON.
JAXB will take care of converting an object which you're returning to XML?
Yeah.
So how will you define an JAXB object? Let's say I want to define a class, or let's say, for example, customer, and then how will you define that?
Simply you have to use annotation from the JAXB at the rate XML root element at class level. Before class customer, you write at the rate XML root element. If you want to change, by default, it will take your class name as a XML attribute name, element name. If you want to change, in double quote, you can specify my customer or something like this. So using mainly three annotation is there: XML root element, XML element, and XML attribute.
Okay. So the member variables will be mapped to that? That's what it will be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Automatically it will take. If you want to make it as, if you want to change the name of variable, then you have to use at the rate XML element. Or if you want to convert your element into attribute, then you have to use at the rate XML attribute. By default, it will take as element, and name will be same as variable name.
Okay. So now let's say if my class has a array, then how will I map it? Array of objects.
Class is having array of objects. Okay, so how to map this?
Yes.
Okay, array is there.
Let me put the question in a different way. So let's say you have an XML and that XML is nested, and within the nesting, let's say you have some other type. So for example, you can have something like a department.
Okay.
And then within a department, you can have multiple employees within a department, right? So this sort of thing, how will you do?
See, one employee class you write. One more class we have to write some employee something name you can take. And in that we can define collection of employee as a attribute, like as a variable. Like if you want a list of employees, so define one list of employee, some employee list. In that you write getter and setter method. So one separate class we have to take that contains collection one employee variable as a collection, like as a array list or depending on the requirement. And that class also we have to map.
Okay. Fine. So how will that collection get mapped?
To map the collection, so XML root element we will use for that collection class, whatever separate class we have written.
Okay.
We will use @XML root element for that collection class.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So what are the, let's say, if you want to, what are the other alternatives of JAXB? Do you know of any other alternatives?
JAXB you have DOM parser is there, as well as SAX, simple API for XML is there, but these are more tedious. Like one is document object model, event handling you have to follow, and another is SAX model is there, that is only read only parser. And some other also there, I think XLS I think also there.
Okay.
And something they have given with Spring also, JAXB, OXM, something they have given with Spring also.
Jersey.
Hello.
Have you worked with Jersey?
Yeah, Sun Jersey. Yeah, in whatever we have used this.
So how is it that different from JAXB?
Come again.
How is JAXB different from Jersey? Or what are they? Are they the same? Are they competing things, or what is it?
See, JAXB is a separate framework. They have provided to process your for marshalling and unmarshalling. Like, and for web service, like if you want to use RESTful web services, then for that multiple they have given implementations. Like one Sun Jersey implementation they have given. I think one more they have given Apache TXF one they have given. Apache Axis 2 they have given. So Sun Jersey is one implementation of your RESTful web services.
Okay.
RESTful web services, we can say it is one specification. So their implementation provided by different vendor. That is one of is Sun Jersey.